Du Rosmarie, magst du für die Kishori-Kund übersetzen?
Schon, aber sie ist so krank und das wegen der Ansteckung.
Echt, bist du krank, Kishori-Kund?
Vielleicht der Rucker.
Nee, der soll sich hier oben anstecken. So. Gibt es nicht so ein Programm schon im Handy, wo es direkt übersetzt? Gibt es nicht sowas auf Google? Die Mariana, die hatte immer so ein Programm. Mit Mundschutz. Wir wollen sie ja nicht ersticken. Okay, so Peter, du verstehst doch Englisch?
Ja.
Gut.
Deutsch, Englisch.
Ungarisch.
Chinesisch, Slawisch, Slowakisch, Russisch, Polnisch.
Okay,
Kroatisch.
reicht schon. Okay. Then we read from Srimad-Bhagavatam Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we read from 510, right? 510, yeah. So, Brahmani adaya karmani. Brahmani adaya karmani. Sangam dhyaktva karodya. Sangam dhyaktva karodiva. Lipyatena sapapena. Lipyatena sapapena. Padma patram ivam basa. Padma patram ivam basa. Brahmani adaya karmani. Sangam tyaktva karodya. Lipyadena sapapane. Saplapana. Lipyatena sapapena. Padma patram ivam basa. Please chant. Lipyatena sapapena. Padma patram ivam basa. Brahmanyataya karmani. Jemand, ladies? Ne? Die Inder. Okay. Word by word. Brahmani, under the Supreme Personality of Godhead. adaya, resigning, karmani, all works, sangam, attachment, tyaktva, giving up, karoti, performs, ya, who, lipyade, is affected, na, never, sa, he, papena, by sin, padma patram, a lotus leaf, iva, like, ambasa, by the water. My nose is itching. My mother always said, when your nose is itching, then you get to know something new. Let's see. Maybe by reading Bhagavad Gita. Okay, sorry if I sometimes have to scratch my nose. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results under the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Purport. Here, Brahmani means in Krishna consciousness. The material world is a sum total manifestation of the three modes of material nature, technically called the pradhan. The Vedic hymn Sarvam hi etat prama manduka Upanishad tasmat etat prama nama rupam anam chayate. Und das vom Mukunda Upanishad. And in the Bhagavad Gita 14.3, Mama Yunir Mahat Brahma, indicate that everything in the material world is a manifestation of Brahman, and although the effects of differently manifested, they are non-different from the cause. In the Ishopanishad, it is said that everything is related to the Supreme Brahman, or Krishna, and thus everything belongs to him only. One who knows perfectly well that everything belongs to Krishna, that he is the proprietor of everything, and that therefore everything is to be engaged in the service of the Lord, naturally has nothing to do with the results of his activities, whether virtuous or sinful. Even one's material body being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is then beyond contamination by sinful reactions, exactly as the lotus leaf, though remaining in the water, is not wet. The Lord also says in the Gita 3:30, Mai sarvani kamani sanyasya, resign all work unto me, Krishna. The conclusion is that a person without Krishna consciousness acts according to the concept of the material body and senses, but a person in Krishna consciousness acts according to the knowledge that the body is the property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in the service of Krishna. Om Agnanati Manasya Knanan Shalakya Chakshumidam Yena Tasmai Shigrave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Monopistam Stabiram Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupagaramayam Dadati Swabarantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shivasari Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, translation again. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results under the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Okay, with your permission and the blessings of my Guru Dev and His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, I may try to share some thoughts about this verse. So this actually is something what Krishna tells us in this chapter. What is the name of this chapter? Remember, or what Prabhupada puts the name? Yes. Is Karma Yoga action in Krishna consciousness. And it's actually a very important chapter because here Krishna opens up basically for the first time how we should approach our activities. And basically he says everybody, because the situation is of course that Arjuna is bewildered by his action and he don't want to perform his duty, right? Sometimes on the street people say, what kind of book is this Bhagavad Gita? It's all about war. And there, this Krishna, he tried to convince somebody to fight in a war. How terrible. Because they see the outside appearance of the book, what was spoken on the battlefield to a warrior. And my argument always was then on the street, well, if Arjuna would be a baker man, then Krishna would come in his bakery and would try to convince him, come on, start to make bread. Because that's the how to say, that's what Krishna tried to do. He tried to convince Arjuna to fulfill his duty, his dharma, and Arjuna is not sure what is his dharma in this moment. Therefore, he comes with all these different questions. For us, of course, is, when we see the Bhagavad Gita as a story, when you write a story, I don't know, some of you maybe wrote a story, at least in school, a good story, when they introduce the characters, and usually done, mainly it's done in the beginning. The characters are always presented or introduced in a way that you as the reader chose the side of one. And even if you're an evil person, when you read a Roman, you always sympathize with the good guy, because you think you're good, although you're evil, So, when you introduce a character, there is one you can identify with, right? And here in the Bhagavad Gita, of course, is whom? With whom we would identify? With Krishna, or? Huh? Arjuna, yes, of course. Arjuna, right? And this is how it should be. And then who are the bad guys? Yeah, do you done, right? Just no, Anyway, so this is how you enter the character of a book, and in this way it becomes personal to you. And this is completely wanted from Krishna, that he says, okay, yeah, now you take the role of Arjuna because you are confused. And Arjuna basically take this role. Arjuna was a great devotee. He was so close to Krishna, however could be confused. But he took this role, and Krishna put him also in some kind of illusion that he perfectly could play this out, that we can identify with Arjuna and, identify with his questions, with his struggles. And here his struggle for what is my dharma is so prominent. Now here in the 5th chapter, Krishna explains so much about the nature of activities. So when we read this verse, one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. And even in Prabhupada's purport, was there anything what you thought, well, that could be difficult to understand? Say, is untouched even by sinful reactions? What could it mean? What somebody could read out of this? Subha, do you raise a hand? Exactly. And some, some smart Indians sometimes, they come with arguments like that. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, if I do whatever, then... And we had a devotee who came and said, well, if I want to smoke, it means Krishna want to smoke. So I'm doing it for Krishna. Right? So it is, I mean, it's wonderful if you can do your activities, combine them with Krishna. Somehow or other, link them with Krishna. That's already wonderful. And even we heard that Srila Prabhupada, when he met in the Bowery in New York, he met some drunkards, some people who like alcohol. He told them, when you drink wine, always think that the taste in the wine is Krishna. In this way, a link to Krishna was established, right? So, but the point is here that somebody who is in Krishna consciousness and has this discrimination that, or actually this non-discrimination that he really can see in alliance with Krishna, but also is intelligent enough through his spiritual training and his spiritual realization that everything is Brahman, everything is under the supreme control and guidance and has a supreme source, Krishna. He knows how, in which nature everything could be used for Krishna. Right? It's like, when you have flowers on the field. I mean, some cooks do, but they have knowledge that they know this flower is eatable or not. If you have flowers on the field and you go say, oh, it's growing on the field, it's all the same. Everything what grows on the field, I put in the pot. And I cook a sabji out of it. Harivenu, what you would think? Better, yeah. Crazy at least, right? It's not just because it's growing on the field, it means it has to come in the pot. Right? One has, the gardener, at least the cook, has to have some discrimination and say, this is meant for the pot, this is meant for the vases. Right? So a person who is trained, is in Krishna consciousness, he has this intelligence to understand how to utilize everything in Krishna's service. And that's actually an art. That's an art what we're learning. That's an art what we are teaching actually in our Bhakti Yoga process. It's part of sadhana bhakti to have this, in the beginning, forced discrimination. This is good, this is bad. Dirty pants, don't go in the kitchen. Clean clothes, can enter. Something like that. And in the beginning, of course, for people who have no idea why we do this, they're sometimes, disturbed. When you have people, taking prasad, they don't want to bother anybody, and there's nobody there who serves the prasadam anymore. So they think, why to bother anybody? I just take it myself. But hey, first you have to wash your hand. And by the way, it doesn't count if you wash your hand, then you go back, grab your dirty plate, and bring it to the, and fill it up again, because, hello, you have dirty hands again, right? So anyway, that's just a side point. So it can be annoying in the beginning. Why they do this? Why it is so so strange on everything. But if you look deeper, you see actually there's a meaning. What it can link with Ayurveda, and even nowadays such things like distributing prasadam should be done by people who wash their hands. Nowadays you can say from a hygienic point of view. Okay. Right? So that's something what we train ourselves to have the right discrimination, what I really can use in Krishna's service, or better, how I can use it in Krishna's service. Right? You can, if you have something what is smoking, use it as incense. But nobody would smoke the incense. Or I don't know, maybe somebody tried. So that's one thing. Then surrendering the results to the Supreme is unaffected by sinful actions, and this actually, I think, is the core of this shloka here, because surrendering the results, what does it mean? What does it mean, surrendering the results? What do you think? Surrender your results. What Kripa Sindhu?
Claiming to enjoy by yourself.
Yes, you claiming to enjoy the results of your activity by yourself. Somebody else has something.
If I get success, it is because of Krishna. If I get failure, it is because of my past karma.
Okay, that's already one step ahead. But Brian, you want to say something?
Yeah, doing not with the consciousness of I'm doing that, I'm the doer.
Although you have the microphone. I can understand you.
Doing not with the consciousness of I am the doer, I'm the one who is the ability, who has the ability in doing such action.
Yeah, for example as well. Because while you're doing it, you enjoy it because you're already looking forward to the results, not as an activity, for example. But yeah, you're right. It's basically your results you want to enjoy by yourself. Now, one thing, what is very, very important to understand, what is the, when you get a result of an activity, what mainly it will be? Result of your work, what do you expect? Huh? Okay, define success when you come like this.
As I want.
Huh?
As I wish, that should be whatever I do, I expect that something should be this.
Yeah, what's your expectations? Let's be clear about this. Rosemary?
Fulfill the task that is given and maybe be praised by the boss or...
Okay, praising of the result. Okay, that could be something that we keep in mind. You're all right, but I want to,
According to me, the result should be.
So what you working for your company, right? What you expect in the end? That they phone you and say, very nice, see you next time. Huh? You get money by it. Rest. And this money is, of course, a reflection or manifestation of whom? Shri. Yes, Lakshmi. It's the opulence of the Lord and it belongs to the Lord. So each time we touch Lakshmi, either in direct money or in success or in, we may, there will maybe come a time again where we don't get direct money for our work, but we have to trade, with other people. Let's say, Jai Shishi Palat Lakshmi Singdev Bhagavan Ki Jai. We produce crops, and in exchange for these crops with other farmers, we get potatoes or something like that. It's also a manifestation of Shri. So each time we touch Shri, we touch opulence, we get a reward for our activities. This result is tinged by the energy it was created with. Do you understand this? When somebody gives you money as a reward, then it's always interesting to ask where this money came from, how this money was generated, how Shri was, distilled out of matter to come to the form where it's right now. Let's say you get somebody commits a crime and he pays you with this money for something. Because there's, you say also dirty money, or there's blood on the money, So you touch this money, what happened to your hand? It becomes bloody. Meaning, you share something of this energy, what this money is loaded with, how it was generated. And by accepting this money, accepting meaning you use it for your own, let's say, sense gratification in some sense. You earn something of the result of this karma, what is loaded on this money. Now, when you use, so you may say, how you will notice how you will notice how this money, where this money came from. You know, I got it for a good reason. I did something for this person. He gives me money. It's loaded with some weird energy. How I should know this? Exactly. But this is how we get entangled in the network of karma, because we all be part of this karmic pot, right? And therefore Krishna suggests, if you get some result, purify it by at least giving part of it back to Krishna where it belongs. Shri belongs to... Do you hear conch shells? I'm running crazy, or maybe I go to heaven or something. Maybe I'm about to die. I hear the conch. So you know, that's a very, very, very important lesson to learn. For example, back in the days of Prabhupada, there was one famous devotee in this time, who is senior now and even is to some extent part of the movement. I don't want to mention his name, everybody can find out. They were very successful in generating Lakshmi for Prabhupada, for printing books and for the movement. Especially they went to Japan, right? Japan. And they went with big cowboy hats, with big rings, the American, fat American business guys, they went there and so, and I don't know how exactly they did it. They wanted to buy gold and rings and stuff, and they went in some sort of disguise, and then the person showed him all the rings, and then they said, "Can you show us more?" And the moment he went in the back to get more of the stuff, they took this stuff and run away, and they made money to it, or things like this, weird things. Right? And then they got the money for it and brought it back to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada praised him, said, "Thank you very much," although he was aware of these dealings, but Prabhupada saw, okay, that's their nature. We have the Alvars, South Indian. If you want to know about it, ask Manuel about the South Indian saints, right? So there were Alvars who are kind of, or there was one Alvar. Alvar is like Acharya in the South Indian tradition, in the Sri tradition, and he had a gang of robbers. And they also robbed people to bring the money to use building temples. So, Prabhupada understood, okay, that's the nature of that person. So he accepted it and praised him that he used this lower energy to not enjoy it for himself, but to give it to his guru. That's for that particular person, it was a success. And he understood it right, the principle of Bhagavad Gita. But Prabhupada, when he got the money, he just said to his servant, "Take this money and give it immediately to Krishna." I don't want to even touch it. Because it's loaded with it. But in this moment, you give the result to Krishna, it's get completely purified. It becomes out, it's sinless, basically. Now it's not, and Prabhupada in one point he said, he should stop with that. That's not good in the long run. Because, of course, it would then in one point fire back, that it comes out, oh, the Hare Krishnas, they're robbing jewelry shops, what is their, how they earn money, so that's of course not good, right? But the principle to be understood is that everything what we earn is actually meant for the satisfaction of Krishna. And same when we eating, we have to eat, but we using the vegetables coming from the field or wherever it comes, even if it comes from the shop, and therefore sure, you have all the strange labels now on food stuff, little crickets or whatever, where people say, oh, it's linked to some kind of impure source or whatever. Even then, when we get it from the shop and purify it by offering to Krishna, the result is that this vegetable is completely purified, and even those who are involved in the process. Therefore, even amongst devotees, it's contradictory about this whole vegan stuff, because the one side say, no, we should not support dairy industry. Yes, that's true. The others say, but if we offer to Krishna, then the dairy industry, especially the cows, they make progress. They have a benefit of it. Also true. Right? So that's basically one thing what we have to take in considerations. The one side are the ones who are creating money. Now speaking directly from us, there are devotees who are creating lots of money, making money with different businesses, maybe working for a materialist who maybe has not the best inclinations or whatever, or they're working for a bank company. Now bankings, most of the profit of the income they're making by investing it. What is the most successful business to invest in? Weapons. So, even if some devotee works maybe in a bank, and in this way is engaged in this circle, it's not only his duty, it is also his, it's for his own safety that he purifies his income by giving it to Krishna. And Ishopanishad Prabhupada also mentioned, Ishopanishad here says, you should only take what is your share. Everything else you should basically give back to the system. It's like you have two hands full. You can keep one hand, the other hand you have to give back to the system, because only then you have one hand free to receive again. Right? So it's a system. It's a whole system. And on the other side, now speaking from people who are in the temple, like priests, like myself, but also like Sankirtan devotees. You're receiving money, Lakshmi, on the street for books. One has to be very careful. Don't use it for your own sense gratification, or have some limitation. What do I really need to survive, or what do I really need to? Of course, Sankirtan van has to run, repair, petrol, different things you have to eat. But the rest, for your own safety. Because what happens, you get contaminated. And it's not, as we said previously, it's not that your hand becomes bloody, it's your mind. It's your senses who become contaminated. And contaminated senses you have to clean again. If you don't clean it, then you have to, they're getting more and more dirty. It's like, if you have dirty hands and you don't wash your hand and you again touch something, not only this what you touch becomes dirty, if the finger is dirty, you become more and more dirty. Therefore, some priests who have to make a direct living out of their duty, right? They have to perform, after they did a puja or a samskara for somebody else, they have to do rituals for themselves, for purification. Right? And this is something what a priest has to do, otherwise he gets contaminated. And this, in the end, will lead to his downfall. So that's some finer principles, what is implemented here, what Krishna gives in this shloka, but what we can take in consideration, because it's a very fine, thin line how to use use your results of your activities. And if you do that, then he is unaffected by sinful actions, because you give everything to the one who belongs it, to Krishna. And just to make this point round, when we said about you have to eat, so you bring stuff, you first offer to Krishna, he takes the reactions away, and then you can eat it. At the same time, it works for my own experience, it works. If you give your result to Krishna, he will take care of you in form of prasadam. And I don't mean now only about food, by everything. If you care about Krishna, he 1,000 times care about you. But that's something what one has to learn or to experience. To jump in the water, to experience, yes, I actually can swim. It's not that I have to keep everything for myself, and only then I survive. No, if I'm happily giving, if I'm a giving person, and especially when I give to Krishna, He will give back immensely. He will take care of you. But that's something what one has to experience and to learn, and kind of jump in the water and see, actually I can swim. Okay, there comes our südindischen Heiligen, when you want to know. You hear that? Yeah, you can give a lecture later on as good night stories in the Brahmachari ashram. Huh? Yeah, you heard what I said about the südindischen Heiligen. Die sollen dich fragen. Wie das war mit den Alvar, der eine Räuberbande hatte als Schüler. Nila Alvar. Okay. Thank you very much. Please pray for me that I understand what I'm telling or what I'm speaking about, and that I can put it fully in my life more and more, understand it, and even the attachment to the results. And this is just, we now just spoke about this one material aspect, as Rosemarie said. There's of course it's getting more and more subtle aspects out of it. You enjoy the fame, the prestige out of it. And this is a manifestation. The Shri implements, Lakshmi implements a certain element of lust, not lust, but love. Radharani is the one who is completely selfless lover. Everything is said, each and every hair on Radharani's head is only there for the pleasure of Krishna. So when she put even a hair, when she puts it in a certain way, she thinks, what will Krishna think? Right? So but this, when love comes in contact with matter, it transforms into lust. Right? So in this moment, we enjoy this Shri, this opulence, this path of being seen, on the altar as Lakshmi or as this opulence. This, when we take this energy on board, now I'm famous for this, what I did. When it comes in contact with a contaminated mind, of course the devotee thinks, it's not because of me. This fame may come. I may be praised as a great puchari or as a great Sankirtan devotee, whatever. But this is because of my Gurudev, the blessings and the benedictions of my Gurudev, and therefore I give this to him. I give even this praise to him. Even in your mind, you immediately get some somebody, some younger devotee maybe praises you, says, wow, Kripa Sindhu, you're such a wonderful devotee, whatever. And Kripa Sindhu, he has to accept it. But he has to understand, and he does this, he has to understand this what's going on? What strange noises in this temple? I know what is, yeah. But sometimes it's also a concha. Do they drill with high-pitched sounds in the wall? Anyway, so he has to understand, okay, that's the duty of when Manuel comes and says, I like you, you're such a wonderful devotee. And it's good for Manuel to praise him. It's his purification. But then Kripa Sindhu Prabhu immediately thinks it's because of the blessings of the Vaishnavas, and especially of my Gurudev, and especially of Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, the devotee gets free even of this attachment. But it is in this moment where you think, yeah, I'm quite good. I'm doing good. Right? Well, in this moment, it gets contaminated and it turns into lust. Let's say Manuel praises somebody out of love. His motivation is pure. But if I take this purity and take it on board, I contaminate it with my material desires. And then it turns into lust. And lust always brings more lust, right? So this again is a matter of downfall. So that's just some aspects to come around this. Sorry. Yeah. Somehow it came out again. Okay, so are there any questions or things we gonna creep us in the Prabhu? Oh, there comes the talking stick.
Just in case you get a lot of money and you are aware of what you have described now, and then it might seem to be the right decision to just give it all away. Best give it all to Krishna. Give it all to a temple, give it all to a devotee. We have huge projects in Mayapur. I mean, I cannot imagine how much money this temple already has eaten up, so to say, as well. So we could then think, okay, just give it everything. But then it could also happen, then after some time you realize maybe that was a mistake. Now I would need it, and maybe I should have dealt in a different way with it. I heard such cases, for example, even with very advanced devotees, even sannyasis, even gurus, who say like that. So, but what would you say to this? I mean, it's easy to say, I don't get contaminated, I just give everything to Krishna.
Yeah.
But that's easy. And it might be correct, but after some time it may turn out maybe that was not so the perfect way.
No. If you undetached, it is the easiest way, and it will remain the easiest way. The easiest for you, because you all give it away. It's all not yours. You give it away, and this means also in your mind you give it away. You give it to Krishna. Whatever result comes out of it is up to Krishna. I'm detached. In this moment, where you later on claim attachment for it, then it means you not completely gave it over. Then better, in this moment, when you're not sure, then don't give it over in this moment. You know what I mean? I don't want to criticize, I don't want to make a judgment, whatever, but I would say, according to this, when you give it over, you give it over. It's done, it's gone, it's there forever. Krishna deals with it. And whatever comes around is also Krishna's plan. Maybe he shows something. Maybe the teaching is, okay, next time I will be more careful. But this is done. But next time I'll be more careful. And if you also have to see in which circumstances you are. Ananda Krishna explained also today in the lecture in the morning. If you have responsibility, people are depending on you, you have a family or something like that, you have to see, okay, what do I need? And therefore Ishopanishad gives us this insurance. You take what is your share, what you need, and in this way you have to be honest. What you really need, you take this, and the rest you give away. So sometimes people give you something. It also happens, people give you sometimes, they give, and they say, this is for you, Prabhu. That's for you. I want that you use this for you, for your health care or whatever, or please use it to go to India. I want that this is for you. I give to don't worry, I give to the temple. I give to Nising, don't worry. But this, I want that you take this. So then you could be also, no, whatever, give it away. But in the end, this person would be, oh, come on. I gave it to you. It was like a gift. It was like a gift of love. So you should take it with respect and see, okay, what do I do with this money? I want to do something nice with it. And you could go to India and a little bit of this you give some rupees with remembering this devotee you give in each and every temple or specific temple. You give a donation and make a prayer to this devotee or something like that. That's Vaishnava activity. You acknowledge the potency of this, what you got, of the Sri potency, and you try to use her really in a way where she is pleased, because you have the right consciousness to handle her. She's a divine being, and you want to bring her back to Krishna, but she's also, in some sense, she's also there to I would not say to please the devotees, but to maintain the devotees, because devotees are part of Krishna. They're not different from Krishna. So she is then, when she appears in devotees' lives, then she appears to kind of help the devotee, nourish him, that he can continue with his service, because she relishes it. She thinks that's very good that this devotee is there, and he is part of Krishna. Of course, we don't think, if we think we are part of Krishna, it belongs to me, then something is wrong in us again. Just, okay?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes definitely sense. I agree completely with it. Especially when you use it for your body, maintaining your body. You use the body for serving Krishna. Then you make the experience, that's actually a devotional service.
Yeah.
And it's connected with Krishna.
Prabhupada says here in the end of the purport, he says, the body and senses, but according to the knowledge that the body is the property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in the service of Krishna. So, and when you do that, it doesn't mean only the brahmachari who is or the temple devotees who is just in a temple. When you be in a situation where you have to earn money, you work in the outside world, then this is where Krishna puts you, not only to generate money, but also to influence the world around you. So devotees in the outside world, they are needed because they are kind of infiltrating society. If they don't shy away, what's the point if everybody, hopefully nobody sees that I'm a Hare Krishna. So what's the point then? What's your impact? But by your good behavior, and you also don't have to be in front with whatever. I go with tilak now every day, and if you're in a bank or what's wrong with that? Whatever. But by your good behavior, by your doing things in a different way, being more conscious, you influence people, and then naturally they ask, what is it? What do you do differently? Yeah, then you tell them, because then they're asking you. Anything else? Rosie has to be quick.
I just want to ask if my side of the verse can also be correct, because you ask at the beginning, what do you mean by unaffected by sinful actions? And Sobal Prabhu said that you even could commit sinful actions. But for me, this interpretation is that you don't even get close to sinful actions when you are surrendering the results. So I did not quite understand the interpretation of this verse.
Do you now cross two different lectures? What Subal once get or gave, or what? I don't. What was with?
Also falsch verstehen.
Ah. Aha. Und ich habe jetzt immer noch nicht.
Okay, then leave everything away. I just want to ask then, so it is to be understood that you are not affected by sinful actions. It means that you are not...
You don't get the reactions. Maybe this is better?
No, that you don't even get near to sinful actions.
Yeah, this is what Krishna tried to, as far as I see, this is what Krishna explained to Arjuna here. That he says, although you're killing, and if you would kill, you get reactions for us. But it's Krishna's, they're already dead. I decided already the outcome of this battle. They will die. They're already dead. I need just somebody who, like.
Okay, I understand.
So,
Thank you.
you my tool. My plan is it's already done, it's already decided. I just need somebody who bring home the harvest, basically. And if you do like that, then it's not your fault. It's my fault. Krishna takes the reactions. Like you how to say, you harvest some crops with this, as they did previously, with the sensor. I don't know how you say, yeah, right, self, yeah, and you know, so it's not the crops blame the sensor. It's the farmer who harvested who could be at fault. So Krishna says, yeah, you know, it's my action anyway. So you're just a tool in my hands.
Thank you.
It's okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much. Now we have ecstatic Gauradi for the pleasure of Sri Sri Palat Lakshmi Singadev and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami